German Chancellor Olaf Scholz promised that Vladimir Putin will never win the war in Ukraine and will not rule the terms of peace as Russian troops made new attempts to occupy a key eastern city. Ukrainian officials said Russian troops have tried to attack the besieged industrial hub of Severodonetsk and nearby Lysychansk, the center of Moscow's renewed offensive in the Donbass. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky called on the West to offer aid, without restrictions, particularly heavy weapons for its armed forces, and criticized suggestions that a negotiated peace might include territorial concessions. Germany is often criticized by Ukraine for not assisting enough, but Scholz emphasized the determination and strength of Berlin and the Western allies. Our goal is clear: Putin should not win this war. And I am convinced that he will not win it, the German Chancellor said at the World Economic Forum in Davos. This is about letting Putin know that there will be no dictated peace, Scholz said. Ukraine will not accept that, as well as we will. Scholz also compared Russia's war in Ukraine, which Moscow calls a special operation, to the horrors of World War II, stressing that confronting Russian imperialism is important not only for Ukraine's future but for the entire international community. The promise of never again is on the line, the Chancellor said. The growing diplomatic dispute over Germany's reluctance to supply heavy weapons to Ukraine threatened to escalate into a wider dispute among allies over whether they were ready to adopt a peace settlement that leaves Vladimir Putin to claim victory. One Western official said Western leaders are divided between those who think they can work with Vladimir Putin's Russia after the war is over and those who think they cannot. The dispute leads to new arguments about weapons in Ukraine, the possibility of an embargo on Russian oil imports, and whether Kyiv has to accept the further loss of territory at the end of the war as the price for peace. The immediate conflict ground between Ukraine and some of its allies centers on the supply of weapons to Ukraine, and Germany appears to be creating a complex chain that will result in the country supplying weapons to its eastern neighbors, mainly Poland and the Czech Republic, which will send weapons to Ukraine. President Vladimir Zelensky felt that Germany's restraint was due to a desire to restore relations with Putin after the war ended. No matter what the Russian state does, there will be someone who will say, "Let's consider its interests," Zelensky said. Poland has also sharply criticized Germany's slowness, and within Germany, Chancellor Olaf Scholz has been criticized for wanting neither side to emerge victorious from the war, which Scholz denies.